This is the Monday Night Raw June 23, 2025 full show results video which takes place at Nationwide Arena in Columbus, Ohio. Seth Rollins makes his entrance, flanked as per usual by Paul Heyman, Braun Breaker, and Big Bronson Reed. He wants to try an experiment and says even the things they think they want are because of him. Roman Reigns? He exists because of Seth. CM Punk says he came back because they chanted for him? He's back because this company wanted to cash in on how much Seth hates him, and that's the truth. Cody Rhodes? There is no second coming of Cody Rhodes unless Seth's there to put him on the map. World Heavyweight Championship? He was the first. NXT Championship? He was the first. Those things exist as they are because he built them in his image. He is the creator, the prime mover, the past, the present, and this is the future of this company. Seth says LA Knight stuck his nose in their business and ate tsunami after tsunami after tsunami for his troubles. And, in a few minutes' time, his dog Braun Breaker has an opportunity to do the same thing to another person who was a thorn in their side, Penta. There are a lot of people who think they have what it takes to exist at the very top, champions like John Cena and Gunther were their challengers, CM Punk and Goldberg, or those left in King of the Ring, Cody Rhodes, Jay Uso, and Randy Orton. But what these men fail to understand is that they are all running a race for second place. The Money in the Bank briefcase is the finish line, the endgame, and it has and always will be Seth Rollins. Then we saw a match between Braun Breaker versus Penta, and the result of this match was Braun Breaker defeated Penta by pinfall, countering a springboard maneuver into a spear. Post-match, Rollins congratulates his attack dog and confronts Penta, telling him this is his one warning to stay out of his way, but Zero remains defiant even as he dry heaves. AJ Styles meets with Adam Pearce and Pearce says Dominic Mysterio is hurt and unfortunately his title match at Night of Champions is off. AJ complains that he's ducking him but Adam assures him it's legitimate and he'll be first in line once Mysterio is healed. New Day and Grayson Waller roll up and New Day want to talk about a photo shoot but Pearce wants to talk about a title shot against Finn Balor and JD McDonough for next week. New Day complain but he says it's official so they storm off yelling about how bald he is. Back from the commercial, we get a Michael Cole sit-down interview with Goldberg. He says there was no way he was gonna let Gunther messing with his family slide and says the lack of respect was unbelievable. He was embarrassed in front of his wife and son and his fans in his adopted hometown, so there's no way he was gonna let him get away with it. He doesn't care if he's got one foot in the grave, nobody talks to him like that and gets away with it. So as he's vying for a retirement match and wondering who his opponent would be, it was quite serendipitous that Gunther stepped up. As long as he's breathing, as long as he sets foot in that ring, he's gonna beat the fuck out of Gunther in that ring. Back in the arena, Michael Cole shares that he also asked Bill if this is absolutely his final match and he said it is, and then that he asked what happens if he wins, and Goldberg called that interesting. Raquel Rodriguez looks distraught hanging out with the boys in the Judgment Day locker room. Finn Balor says Liv Morgan wouldn't want them to mope, and Dominic is still champion, Roxanne Perez is gonna win Queen of the Ring, he and JD are winning the tag titles, and Rodriguez has the tag titles. Raquel asks what happens when the general managers make a decision and he says to not worry about that and snipes at her under her breath. She gets fired up and he says that's the fire they need and she's gonna make Rhea Ripley pay and Dom says he misses Liv, Roxanne consoles him and he wishes her luck in her match. Back from the commercial, Bayley is working out when Lyra Valkyria rolls up to chat. Valkyria says it's cool that she's got a title shot but after all she lost the title, Bayley snaps on her and then collects herself and says when she wins of course Lyra is first in line. All while this is happening we see Becky Lynch blunder into frame in the background before deciding to walk away. Then we saw a Queen of the Ring semifinals match between Jade Cargill versus Roxanne Perez, and the result of this match was Jade Cargill defeated Roxanne Perez by pinfall with Jaded. Post-match, Jade is celebrating on the stage when Asuka makes her entrance to square up with her. Back from the commercial, Sheamus is backstage with Alpha Academy and he tells Natalya and Maxine Dupree that they'll make great women's tag team champions and basically wishes Akira Tozawa better luck next time. Rusev appears to try and rile Sheamus up and the Celtic Warrior says he marches to the beat of his own drum. He says Rusev was the most embarrassing and egotistical member of League of Nations, and it's time to put up or shut up. Gunther makes his entrance and gets on the mic and says last week was supposed to be his celebration for regaining the WWE World Heavyweight Championship that is rightfully his, but instead Bill Goldberg walked down here and looked him in the eye and told him he's next. So he did a lot of thinking and thought about what it means to be next. Usually being next means getting speared out of your boots, jackhammered for 3 and waking up looking at the lights. Goldberg is the most destructive man of his time, but it's not 1999 anymore, it's 2025 and Gunther is the best wrestler in the company and the title around his waist proves it. He takes a moment to apologize to Bill's wife and son for everything he's going to do to the man that used to be Goldberg. He's unlike anyone he's ever been in the ring with, and he embarrassed him once and he'll embarrass him again to make sure that the myth of Goldberg dies once and for all. Becky Lynch is interviewed backstage and complains about Bayley and Lyra conspiring against her before storming off. Sami Zayn is standing by and gets interviewed. Before he can say anything, Kross rolls up to mock him and tells him he had a good speech last week but still got dropped by Randy Orton just like Kross said he would, and he's never gonna be world champion the way he is. Zayn turns to him and says okay and drops him with a single right hook. Sami tells him he's done talking to him and he went to Adam Pearce and got a match made. He storms off, then Kross and Scarlett Bordeaux cackle at each other about it. The next match happened between Bayley vs Becky Lynch for the WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship, and the result of this match was Becky Lynch won the match by disqualification when Valkyria slides in and attacks Lynch. Lyra dropkicks Becky through the ropes but Bayley pulls her aside and berates her for getting involved in costing her the match. Back from the commercial, Chad Gable gives Ivy Nile, who he calls his favorite student, a pep talk about wiping her opponents out completely regardless of cost. Gable moves on and rolls up on Penta to laugh at his misfortune of having Braun Breaker destroy her earlier. Penta tells him to shut up, shoves him, lays him out with a super kick and tells him he told him before hitting the sacrifice. Road agents swarm and Penta backs off while Ludwig Kaiser rubbernecks the chaos. Raquel Rodriguez is in the ring and on the mic and she calls Rhea Ripley out to get the beating she deserves. Then comes Rhea Ripley and she slides in the ring and lights Rodriguez up, ducks a lariat but Raquel gets her on the backswing. Rhea drops her with a boot to the floor, Rodriguez rams her into the apron and then throws her over the timekeeper's barricade before going under the ring for plunder and coming up with a Slim Jim branded table. Table in the ring, Rhea dives off the announce desk with a forearm before throwing Raquel into the steel steps and going inside to set the table up. Ripley gets her in the ring, pump handle but Roxanne Perez makes the save. Rhea bounces her face off the turnbuckle, charges in but Rodriguez ducks the boot, and hits one-arm powerbomb snaps into the Slim Jim table. Back from the commercial, Rhea Ripley busts into Adam Pearce's office and demands a match against Raquel Rodriguez and he offers up a street fight and it is official. In the main event of the show, we saw a King of the Ring semifinals match between American Nightmare Cody Rhodes vs main event Jay Uso, and the result of this match was Cody Rhodes defeated Jay Uso by pinfall with the Crossroads, and moved to the finals of the tournament. Cody Rhodes vs Randy Orton set for the King of the Ring finals match at Night of Champions 2025. Post-match, they embrace and Jay raises Cody's hand and the show goes off the air. How much you would rate this week's Monday Night Raw? Tell me in the comments, and thanks for watching.